For this video, we will presenting software engineering project presentation for case study Busasia. This is our team. We have 5 members. Me, Hassan Basri, as project manager, Chong Bowie as system analyst, Hasha Filzah as programmer, Hing Yusin as system tester, and Alia Inshirah as system designer.
1.0 Case study. Busasia is headquarters in Kuching, Sarawak, and it services only in Borneo and certain places in Indonesia and Brunei. Busasia provide special service, which is parcel and cargo service, and also bus tracking map. And most interesting thing is Busasia is one of leading bus operator in Sarawak. 2.0 is main user interface. This slide shows four figures of the service provided by the Busasia. First of all is a figure 1, which is main page, where the user can enter their detail to booking a ticket. The second one is BNB Kuching. The third one is a timetable for a specific route in Sarawak. And the fourth one is a cargo service, which is a cargo delivery. This page show the details price of the cargo service. 3.1 is objective, where the first one is service coverage map that provide in the route visualization, where the traveler can refer maps because they are not familiar with a Borneo route. Some of them are come from non-Borneo or non-Malaysian people, and they can identify the cargo and also the passenger bus at a particular time because the map showing actual time. The second one is customer experience, where Bus Asia website or platform provide comfortable facilities for passengers like charging ports and also functional air conditioner. And the most important thing is the bus driver has certification and also license, so that passenger feel safe with the driver.
3.2 Info Service. So the info service that provide in Bus Asia website, the first one is passengers will receive a confirmation email with the user ticket details after booking the tickets at the online. So the second one is passengers can check if their bus is on time or delayed via email or SMS. The third one is Bus Asia serve a customer support information where the service support for ticketing, cargo, bus tracking, and others common issue by listing phone numbers and emails address that can be contacted by the user. 3.3 Expectation of software engineering involvement in portal. So the first one is expected to design, develop, and maintain this portal. And the next one is to ensure the portal is simple, clear, and easy to use for all types of user. And the third one is in Bus Asia's portal, functional to protect the passengers' data and security by following Malaysia's PDPA's law.
4.0 Appropriate software. 4.1 Process model. The chosen model is agile incremental. Reason for this model is the flexibility and cost effective. Flexibility developed in small increment, refine module like login and payment gateways separately. The cost effective is test module before integration, reduce risk, time, and cost. 4.2 Process activities. Specification is for feasibility studies to assess GPS tracking, online booking, cargo service viability. For requirement elicitation is user survey workflow or observation. For requirement specification is to document filters, booking flows, and review rules. And lastly, requirement validation is prototype wireframe tested with user, adjust based on feedback. Design and implementation. The architecture we use is MVC pattern, and the model booking, tracking, cargo promotion, database, GPS, API, payment gateway. For viewer is to responsive UI for passenger, agents, and admin. And for controller is to handle user input, update models, manage API calls. And UI is to interactive maps and personalized dashboard. And for component is for booking, payment, tracking, cargo, promotion. And for the database is using PostgreSQL, MongoDB, and Redis. Validation, we use component testing for verify modules individually, integration testing for validate combined workflow like booking plus payment and plus tracking. System testing is to check end-to-end functional and non-functional checks. And lastly, acceptance testing is for UAT with bus Asia staff and selected passengers only. Lastly is evolution. Software change is to add e-wallets, QR payment, dynamic pricing during peak months. And maintenance is to security update, PCI compliance, and performance monitoring. For legacy upgrade is to migrate old booking engines to cloud-native solution.
4.3 expected deliverable activities. First one is the specification phase, which we need to understanding what we want to build. For the feasibility studies, we need to know is it possible for us to build this system. And for requirement elicitation, we need to know what exactly the user need. And requirement specification is how exactly our system will work. And for the requirement validation, we will know that is the our plan is correct or not correct. We will go with the design. And for second is the design and implementation phase, which we need to building the system. For for the architecture design, which is the system architecture document. System is organized into the layers so it doesn't get messy. And for the user interface UI, we will know how our system look and feel. And for component code and also the documentation, we will break the system into a few components like the payment component and also the tracking component. And last one is the database design. Because not all data is same, so the system will use different type of the storage for a different job. And for the third one is the validation phase. We need to make sure the system is work correctly. First is the component testing. We will test the part of the system like the payment function, also the tracking function. And for the integration test, we will test that if the different functions can connect share data between function and function. And for the system testing, we will test the system from the start to the finish. And the last one is the acceptance testing. We will give the system to the people will, which will use the bus Asia and conclude that is easy and comfortable to use it. And for the last one is the evolution phase. The first one is the software change. We will upgrading our feature like adding the new payment method. And for the maintenance, we will upgrade our security update. And last one is the legacy upgrade. We will out with the old and in with the new. We will upgrade the old system.
So this is the Gantt chart that show the overall project schedule for the bus Asia system using the incremental development model. So this project start with the feasibility study and requirement activities, followed by design and development tasks such as UI UX, components and database design. Implementation and testing are done in stage, including integration, system testing, and user acceptance testing. So at the end of the project, end with the development, maintenance, and legacy system update to ensure continuous improvement.
5.0 Issue of professional responsibility. Issue of professional responsibilities for project manager. Key issue: incomplete documentation of system architecture, component interaction, and incremental change. The impact is delays in bug fix feature, updates require reverse engineering, increased operational cost due to extra time spent on understanding the code, risk of system failure if incorrect assumption break workflows. The prevention measure for the impact is to implement strict documentation standard for every increment, update system architecture document after each release, maintain API specification and database schema diagrams, and lastly, record test report for component integration and system testing.
5.2 Issues of professional responsibility. For me is the my role is system analysis. So for me, I think it's the incomplete or ambiguous requirement specification. The first one because my responsibility as a system analysis is need to ensure that the software requirement specification SRS is accurate, complete, and also unambiguous before transiting it to the design and implementation phase. And the problem will arise if the incomplete requirement from the client during the specification phase, it represent that the most significant risk to the project to success. Because if the requirement is unclear, it our system maybe will have the issue or also error during the design phase.
Hi, I'm Ashraf Ilza binti Farid Kamil, student ID CB25080, and my role is as a programmer. The handover problem that I'll be having is incomplete documentation. Since we are using Agile, we, developer team, prioritize working on software over documentation, while the evolution team expected detailed documentation from us. This problem caused poor knowledge transfer, which could increase bug rates and team conflicts that could delay the project. For example, if the evolution team refused to accept the project because of the incomplete documentation, we could miss our deadline and fail to satisfy our client. Therefore, I must ensure proper documentation to guarantee the project long-term success.
5.4 Issue of professional responsibility. As a system tester, I think the issue is incomplete or unclear handover of test case and test result between increment. So, as a tester in the BUS Asia project, I need to component testing, integration testing, and validation before moving to the next increment. And after the testing, I need to do a complete documentation, and this documentation will pass to the next tester team. For example, if after the testing booking module, the issue are not documented completely, the payment module teams cannot verify integration, and it will lead to blind testing. And the risk and the impact for this issue is increase the cost on time because of fixing bugs post-integration is more expensive than fixing them during component testing. And the second one is the project will be delayed because of the developers must backtrack to fix multiple connected modules, stalling the final release.
5.5 is issue of professional responsibility as a system designer, where it's occur mismatch between agile process and plan-based evolution, that misunderstanding between development teams and evolution team. For example, error online ticket booking occur during the peak season like Hari Raya. The evolution team must fix it quickly by referring to the system documentation, but the development team does not provide the documentation because they prefer agile process rather than a plan-based evolution. And the risk and impact is maybe architectural will be degraded, and the client and also the user give negative feedback to the software development team.
Next, system architecture pattern. For Busasia website, our group choose MVC architecture pattern because it is capable in providing a clear separation between data logic and user interface. Model component are going to manage data such as Busasia database and authentication. The view component are going to manage user interface including bus map tracking and registration page. Lastly, controller which going to act as the intermediary passes interaction between model and view component to handle tasks like payment processing and discount calculation. This structure allows us to secure and update website interface without disrupting the underlying system logic.
7.1 Benefit of involving user in release testing for project manager. 1. Improve usabilities and user experience. Identify navigation issue, unclear workflow, and confusing interface early. For Bus Asia, user testing booking flows, real-time tracking screen, and cargo booking page. Ensure design meet real-world expectation and reduce risk of poor usabilities after system go live. Second, early detection of functional gaps. Validate system against actual user need, not just documented requirement. For Bus Asia, confirm features like real-time tracking, payment gateway integration, and cargo booking work as intended. Prevent costly rework and ensure alignment with operational process.
And the 7.2 is the benefits of involving user in the release testing. And as the system analysis, the first one is will maximizing the functional validation, system usability, and also the alignment with the real world user need. Because it can verify the system indeed fulfill the need for the targeted user or not. And the second one is the early mitigation of known functional and environmental risk before cost escalation. Because we can find the hidden problem, because some problem maybe will show when it is used by a real human.
Next, involving user in release testing provide two benefits to me as a programmer. First, validating that the right product is being built. By letting user or client BRMS SDNBHD interact with the system, they can confirm if the system met their requirement and run effectively for their needs. Second, faster identification of bugs. Real user helps programmer detect defect of the code early. For example, admin of BRMS SDNBHD told the programmer that the ticket cannot be printed nor saved into files. For that reason, I need to fix it right away to avoid total system failure after launching the Bus Asia system.
7.4 Benefit of involving user in release testing. So, as a tester, I think the first benefit is early identification and usability and requirement issue. When the testing, the user will test the system based on their real needs and real usage, and this will help the tester to identify the usability problems earlier that might be overlooked. And after get the user feedback, the development team can fix the issue early in each development increment. so it can reduce the major usability problem in later stage. And the second one is reduce the risk of user acceptance, test failure, and schedule delay. This is because the user can validate each system increment early, so just a few critical issues that will be found during the final user acceptance testing stage. And this will help the project stay on schedule and within the budget.
7.5 is benefit of involving user in release testing as a system designer. The first one is elicitation of design requirement, act as a prototype to help elicit requirement for later increments. The prototype also ensure my interface design match the user's real needs. The system design will compare and see if the prototype aligns with user expectation. The second one is reduce development effort, where the system designer must be very professionals in terms of timing and error so that the system can be delivered to the client before the due date. When the users are involved in early increments, the system designer can detect logical error or any missing requirement in the system main function.
And 8.2 is disadvantage to user involvement during the project validation and verification stage as a system analysis. For me, I think it will portray the project stability and service cost escalation and resulting from uncontrolled requirement evolutions. Because the first it will have the hidden requirement because the user don't know what they actually want until they see a working version. And also it will cause the massive reward and also the 100 time rules. Because fixing the requirement mistake early maybe just cause RM1. But if we fix it at the end, it maybe will cause like maybe near 100.
Moving on to disadvantage to user involvement during project validation and verification stage. As a programmer, disadvantage of user involvement are development delay. Different users provide different feedback, which could be conflicting feedback on the same features. User may give misleading reports that are difficult to interpret technically. For example, user might say that error pop-up message looks weird, which could lead to unclear feedback. As a programmer, I then need to spend time searching for bugs that may not even exist in the code or were reported incorrectly. Therefore, this kind of problem must be managed carefully to avoid stalling the development timeline.
8.4 disadvantage to user involvement during the project validation and verification stage. As a tester, I think that the disadvantage is it will increase project time and management effort. This is because it's require extra time to plan and manage user testing section. When testing section, the tester must explain the testing object and guide the user, and the different groups of user may have different availability and technical understanding. So after the testing section, the tester need extra time to develop, to analyze, filter, and prioritize feedbacks. So it may slow down the testing progress if not well managed.
8.5, the disadvantage to user involvement during the project validation and verification stage as a system designer. The disadvantage is a verification gap, creating a validation dilemma where Busasia provide real-time tracking features for user purpose, and the bus tracking are across major cities in Borneo, Brunei, and also Indonesia. Even if I as a system designer invite user to inspect the design, they cannot verify if the performance via inspections of the algorithm for calculating the longitude, latitude, and also cost is logically correct and follow the requirement, and they cannot verify the system will actually update all the location fast enough even hundreds of buses are transmitting data simultaneously.